Welcome to the Sheepless Life podcast. We are your hosts, Yvonne de la Flor
and Severine Nassens, and we are the founders of the Sheepless Life Academy. Join us at sheeplesslife.com for a free and exclusive masterclass on sheepless living.
We created this podcast for women like you, who are ready and eager to live and lead without the herd mentality.
Women who are ready to be, not who your parents told you to be.
Not who the system expects you to be.
Not who the media wants you to be.
But who you can truly become.
So relax, step out of the herd for a moment.
Grab something to sip on and have a pencil at hand just in case you feel the urge to take some notes.
Let's get the show on the road. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is Severine Nassens from Cancun, Mexico, and on the other side of the microphones, we have Yvonne de la Flor in Las Vegas, USA. How are you doing today, Yvonne?
I'm doing great. A little excited. A lot excited for podcast. This theme that I expect it to be either controversial or
Oh, hang on. I'm having a trouble with your input. Just hang on with me. Hang in there, everybody. I'm taking care of this. Just have a technical glitch. I am not hearing Yvonne on the podcast. Hang on.
Hello.
There we go. Hello. I hope everybody's hearing us. I'm really sorry about this little glitch, Yvonne. Now I have you on the podcast. You were outside.
Well, this is perfect. This is perfect because today we're talking about a topic that can be controversial for many and needed for some. Yes. And I think it's a topic that would be beneficial to be able to speak about it openly. But it's not a coincidence that we have glitches with a theme like this, abortion. It's not a coincidence. Sometimes there are, energetic business, relationship miscarriages and abortions. So how do you solve that? How do you move on after that? So hi, guys. I'm in Vegas, and it's an honor to be here with you. Thank you, Sevi.
You're welcome. Well, I'm really sorry about the glitch. But like you said, I mean, life is full of surprises and technological hiccups happen. And yes, the topic for today, we decided to speak about abortion. It came up the other day during one of the courses that Yvonne is teaching, and I had a breakthrough about the energetical importance, the energy importance, and the systemic importance of a miscarriage that I've had, that my husband's mother's had. So what we want to talk today with you is not about the legal part or if it should be legalized or not. We're going to leave that aside. Basically, I want to go through a couple statistics that I found, and I was absolutely flabbergasted about that because I found out that more than 50 million abortions happen per year worldwide. That is 50 million children that are not born, be it for natural reasons or be it through an induced abortion. And I was really shocked about that. And when I went in further, I found out that 35% of all pregnancies end in a spontaneous miscarriage. 29% end due to a induced abortion, and only 36% of all pregnancies result in a baby being born alive. And that is absolutely shocking to me. And when I had my experience with a miscarriage, and I know, Yvonne, you've also had this experience, I thought I was alone, and then all of a sudden it appeared to be that many women around me have been through that experience as well, but it's kind of hush-hush, it's kind of a taboo, and it's not spoken about until you actually get to that point, and then other women will share their experience with you. And I was totally shocked when that happened. On one side, I was kind of relieved to know that I was not the only one. But on the other hand, I was quite shocked to see how many women go through the experience of a miscarriage and also other women around me have gone through a voluntary abortion during one of their pregnancies. So it's a topic that I'm honestly I'm a kind of uncomfortable, because it is something that has touched me strongly in my life. But I think it's good to speak about it. It's therapeutic.
It's absolutely therapeutic. And yes, as you said, you shared, Sebe. I honestly, I don't feel uncomfortable talking about this because I've been talking about this since I experienced um, around three miscarriages and an abortion. So I've been open because I always have I have a personal saying in my personal ethics in coaching or mentorship. I wish and I hope consistently, and this is my intention, that my errors or my failures or my accidents or the things that happened to me in my yesterday, I want them to become the successes, the green lights, the healing for the future of others that I come here to serve. So when I put anything uncomfortable under that framework, I have the courage and the bravery to share so.
Yes.
So I hope this serves women out there and men too. Because, for example, I had the experience of three miscarriages, of getting pregnant and getting pregnant and getting pregnant, and each time there was a hope, each time there was a dream, each time there was a baby, each time there was a possible future that didn't came, that didn't came through, that was obstructed, miscarried, aborted, or even had to go through interventions with uh, the OBGYN, the gynecologist, to scrape and vacuum and say sorry, the heart of the baby didn't work. The it's kind of a harsh system for something that happens in our natural system of our body, and that's one. And there's a lot of emotional energy drained through that.
Yes.
There's a lot of quietness and silence that is kind of a hermetic silence that you are supposed also not to talk. And there's these feelings with these type of experiences of being a failure. I couldn't give birth. I did something wrong, and of tremendous guilt. I don't know for you, but for me, all of those emotions. And the worst thing about that was not the miscarriages, was not the losses, is that I didn't speak up, that I had to, and I believed I had to pretend that everything is okay.
Yeah.
I'm strong. It just happened. Forget it and move on. And
Yeah.
in the years later, as I studied family constellations and healthy bonding and connection between mother and children, and all of these modalities that I now help people with and through to find, to kind of find the golden nugget of the past, actualize their present, and live the future so they can live more fulfilling lives. Through all of those systems, I found out that I needed to speak up.
Yes.
And not speak up like a victim, but actually speak up from the space of where I was, what I felt, and give it a name. And give it a name to move on. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important. And also something I would like to add, at the time when I had a miscarriage, that also I had to go through curettage with the gynecologist. And it was a very physically draining experience, but most physically it wasn't that bad in the end. But emotionally, it was really, really straining. And also, not just for me, but also for my husband at the time, because we were really looking forward to having that child. We already had a name, and the pregnancy for me ended at 9 weeks. So it was really in a very early stage, which is the stage where most miscarriages happen. And also for him, also for the men, for the father of the child, if he's involved in the whole situation, it is also very harsh on them. And the thing is, for women, among women, we kind of find support among us, with our friends, with our family, with our moms or aunts or whoever's been through that, and they can kind of soothe our pain and tell us, hey, it's okay. Many women go through this. It's a natural process. Your body's preparing, and you'll have a healthy baby later on, which was my case, fortunately. But there's no support for the men either. So it's what you said just now about family constellations. That is the way I found peace and I was able to name and place that unborn baby in my life. And I would really love for you to explain to our listeners what we can do and what the importance is about naming it and placing it, and what they can do if not seek help
Right.
to
So,
place that.
yeah. So I just want to add something of what you just said, because I know there's a lot of women, you just shared that it's tough also for the men. I love that you shared that. But for many women, for some men, they don't want to go through the emotional thing. And for some, it's like, just get over it too. My recommendation, if there's any gentleman out there, is to avoid those words to a woman that goes through a process like this. Just get it done. Just get it over, because that will be transferred into your future. Just getting done, getting over. Whatever you don't complete emotionally, you will live physically in your finances, in your businesses, and in your future relationships.
Boom.
I want to leave that out there. So for you to understand that being kind to one another and having a space where everything has a right to exist does not only help the other. We're not going to be just Mother Teresa's or Gandhis with one another. We are also investing in the future of our relationships, in the future of our health, in the future of our businesses. Because if we don't acknowledge the pain of the past, it will become the suffering of our tomorrows. It will become the block. It will become the wrong partnership. It will become something that you will wish you could abort. A bad lawsuit, a friendship that it was not a friendship. So I just want to bring awareness. I know we have limited time right now in the podcast, because we have another podcast coming up in Spanish. But this is a topic that I invite you to begin to think, that what happens in your life, like an abortion, like a miscarriage, like an abandonment, like alcoholism, every single kind of systemic thing that created a wound, or that creates any emotional drainage or avoidance of emotional mastery in the process, will eventually replicate, not to hunt you, but to liberate you. So just be aware of these topics. I'm going really kind of trying to go deep in such a fast time, but what I want to share, and now just to the third part of our podcast, is systemically wise. How do you honor these experiences? Well, in family constellations, they have you go through the grief. If you skip the grief of a loss, if you skip the grief of a completion, if you skip the grief of an abortion, of an abandonment, of this topic is so controversial, because we also there's abortions because of rape and all of that. Well, we're not going to talk about that. Maybe we can talk about that.
On another
it would
one.
be great to talk about rape. It will be incredible to talk about that. But when you name it, what you don't name will hit the button replay. So when you name it, so Severine, you said you gave a name to your baby, to your son or to your child. I went through that in family constellations, that my teachers had me not only held a safe space for me to grieve, to feel what it felt, my emotions, to be non-judged for feeling guilty, for feeling as a woman, I'm worth nothing. I cannot give a child to my husband, or I'm doing this abortion because I'm too young, or just the guilt. These were like beings that could have been, and now they are not alive. All of these thoughts, all of these emotions. So there was a safe space for me to share. There was a container of safety where I could grieve, where I could cry. And then I was asked, when I was responsible of my grief, to give it a name. To name that soul that could potentially have been a human being in the body, like you and I. And so you can give it, if any of you had those experiences or know someone, just know that there is, if you haven't grieved it, if you haven't named it, if you have not shared this in a safe way, not out of a victim pattern, but out of a desire to move forward and liberate from this, because that will be replaying in you, guys. That will be replaying maybe in your business. Maybe your finances keep stopping, clients keep aborting the mission, right? Or you keep going, starting a program of weight loss, starting a commitment at the gym, starting a new relationship, and suddenly you feel like, I gotta get out of this, and you don't know why. Name it. Give a name to that soul. Honor it as a child in your lineage. Honor it as someone, something that was important in your life. Because, for example, me, that I have miscarriages, I have a daughter, my older daughter. It's not my older daughter. Before her, there was this miscarriage, this abortion. And so I'm a mother, with them too, of 2 children. One doesn't have a body, but only bodies die. Spirit is eternal. Spirit always remains. So my daughter was not a single child. Your daughter, Severine, is not a single child.
It's not a single child, exactly.
They have siblings, just the siblings have no body, no physical body. And this, it's something that you can think about, like when someone dies in your family, your mother, your father, and aunt, by age or whatever it happens, that doesn't mean they didn't exist. You saw the body, you met them through the body first. But some of these souls, didn't incarnate in the body. That doesn't mean they don't exist. So just give yourself the opportunity to give them a space, to give them a place in your family system. Give yourself the opportunity to give a space to businesses aborted. Give yourself the opportunity to give yourself a space, or give a space to relationships that didn't work through. Honor them and name them for something they were, and for something that they still are in your memory system. Because when you name it, you remove the power it has of draining your energy, of creating blind spots in your business, your relationships, your children, your life, and the wholeness of who you are. And you will create more space to flow, and for the things you do want in life to stay and grow.
Thank you for that.
Wow.
It's important to find peace, to be able to be at peace with situations like that. And I hope that the ladies that are listening, and also the gentlemen, if you have been through child loss at the early stages during pregnancy, please, if you haven't spoken up, do so. If you need to seek out help, find someone who can do family constellations. For me, the family constellation worked. It was like magic. Everything fell into place, and I came at peace. The aching was gone, but the memory stayed. So it became something beautiful, something I can talk about, something I can carry, and I can speak about with my daughter, so that she knows that she's not the first child that was born through my body. There was one before her that unfortunately didn't make it through the entire experience, but there was a presence. So as you say, the energetically, they are part of us. So please do take care of yourselves, take care of that ache, speak up, and if necessary, seek for help. And I think we're going to leave it at this for today. Really, really honored to be able to speak about this together with you, Yvonne. It is once again part of a healing experience and a breakthrough. This time for business for me. So it is good to speak about abortion. Thank you so much for listening, and we will hear you next week.
Subscribe to this weekly podcast on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. Share your thoughts with us on Facebook.com/Sheepless Life Academy and learn firsthand how to live a sheepless life with Yvonne and receive an exclusive in-depth masterclass at sheeplesslife.com.